That's it. Snap out of it. Welcome. Good to see you're coming around. No, you didn't just renew. Yes, I know you were on Carousel. You didn't just renew. Trust me. At the last moment as you reached the top, you were teleported outside of the city of Domes, which you're no longer in, as you can see through the window behind me, to this outpost. Did I renew? Kind of. I mean, once you're outside the city, this is what happens to your time clock, so more or less, I guess you could call that renewal. I wouldn't call this starting all over again, or maybe in a way I would. It all depends how you look at it. You see, you were teleported away on your last day as you were trying to renew and brought here for a special operations group. You're now going to be part of Operation Beyond the Infinite. Why you? Well, why not? Your outstanding record as a Sandman, your record number of terminations. We haven't had somebody as devoted to the cause as you since Logan 5 or Francis 7 graced our ranks. This facility, well, it was put together about 30 years ago by the Thinker. And it was put together by the Thinker when the Thinker discovered that there were a series of portals to other times and dimensions opening up around the outside of the city. And those portals and dimensional holes are called Frankenholes for some strange reason. I don't know why the Thinker named them that, but that's what they're called. And what comes through them is what you'll be defending the city against now. No, you won't be pursuing runners at all anymore. Of course, you'll still be using standard DS gear, the uniforms, your DS sleep pistol, just as deadly as ever. We've discovered it works very well against most of what comes through the Frankenholes. You'll be issued a new one later on. And of course, your follower, only now, as opposed to being tuned to look for time clocks, your follower's been tuned to look for other things, such as paranormal energy, transporter beams, time rips, folding space. Yes, every single thing that I've just described, you're going to run into out here now. What are some of the things that I've run into? Well, first of all, I've been doing this for, I want to say 20 years now. I was yanked away from Carousel just like you were and brought here to take part in this operation in 2274, Scorpio 19, so I'm a little over 50 years old now. And the things that I've seen while I've been out here doing this are just insane. One day, me and about 4 different Sandmen were patrolling around outside the city in our ground cars. You'll learn more about those as time goes on. When all of a sudden, a Frankenhole opened up and we ran into this guy. He came out making all these weird hand signs and saying something like, "I bring you love," or "live long and propagate," or something like that. We, of course, opened fire on him immediately and blew him into the middle of next week. And the only things that were left of him were what's left of this shirt And this weapon, don't let its size and configuration fool you. It's unbelievably powerful. As a matter of fact, remember how the DS pistols at one time only had a destruct setting and that was it? Then all of a sudden they developed a stun setting as well? Technology taken from this weapon. What else have we run into? Well, one time we were all on patrol around the outside of the city and a Frankenhole opened up, and this guy in a orange jumpsuit came out, and he was speaking some strange dialect. I think the thinker later told us that it was some ancient Earth dialect called Japanese or something. Anyway, we of course opened fire on him immediately, which is our shoot first and ask questions later procedure as DS operatives. And he turned into some kind of 50-foot tall giant. 50-meter tall giant. Of course, our weapons were useless against him. We got back in the ground cars, needless to say, and got out of there as fast as we possibly could. Have all the encounters through the Frankenholes been bad ones? No. I can remember one a few years ago where a Frankenhole opened up. We were alerted and went to it, and a flying police car, of all crazy things, came through it. The occupant called it a spinner and said he was a policeman from the year 2019 looking for runners basically called replicants, of all things. We, of course, felt kind of akin to this guy and set up our campsite, built a fire, and just spent the evening finding out about how he pursued and terminated replicants, and it was actually very similar to the way that we pursue and terminate runners. As a matter of fact, he said he kind of felt a special bond with us and felt like he may actually have been inspired by us. So we had a good evening talking to him. Then he got back into his flying car and flew back through the next open Frankenhole to get back to his dimension and time. And we had a little bit of a weapons exchange that night. Kind of like a police to police etiquette type of thing, I would call it. And I gave him a DS blaster, and in return, he exchanged us for one of his weapons. It still fires conventional shells. Look at the size of the muzzle on this thing. I don't know what a replicant is, but I'd be dying to hunt one, wouldn't you? They must be unbelievably powerful. Anyway, that was one of the better times that happened through the Frankenholes. But anyway, you're here now and part of Operation Exodus. Welcome aboard. If you head down the hallway, the last door on the right, you'll be issued your new uniform, blaster, and follower. You'll be shown where your quarters are, and we'll get you debriefed and out on patrol. Welcome aboard.